Welcome back to day 2 of all the best things that I learned at Stanford Business School that have actually made me wealthier and or happier, and day 2 is all about career. These mindset things have completely changed how I think about professional development, looking for new jobs and opportunities, etc. So the first I think I actually learned from Graham Weaver, who's also all over this app, was an amazing professor, and he totally changed how I think about having a 5 or 10 year or 20-year plan. Common advice says you should have it and you should have it all figured out. But his advice was actually to focus on the immediate next step. So like, let's say this year, and then think about the 20, 30 year vision, like the really far future state from now, and not worry so much about the middle part. The reason why I thought that was so wise is because, one, it's basically impossible to plan out everything, but then also you miss out on so many opportunities when you're so incredibly specific and prescriptive about what needs to happen at every single step along the way. Because if you're so focused on one specific job title or one specific company, you miss out on so many other opportunities that are literally all around you, and literally opportunities that don't exist right now that are going to be available in 5 or 10 years that you're going to completely overlook because you're so focused on one thing. So I love this framing. Think about the now and think about the really, really, really far future state. Second was a really empowering way to think about things if you are lost, if you're laid off, you're kind of in between things right now. I similarly have had those experiences. It's really scary. I don't want to undermine kind of the financial instability there as well. That being said, I think there is a huge superpower in being kind of a free agent right now. If you're not attached to what you're doing, or maybe you're not in a job at all right now, the whole world is your oyster. There are so many really interesting things happening right now, AI, being one of them. And if you're actually too locked into a specific job or company or expertise and you're not a free agent, there are so many people that miss these huge waves of innovation and potential opportunity purely because they're so locked into what they're currently doing. So in my times of kind of the most instability or the times that I felt the most lost, I actually was able to change my mindset into thinking about it as the most empowering time. The last piece of advice is to go where other people are not. It's so easy to follow what everyone else is doing, and that's exactly what I did out of college. I saw all of my older friends and peers that I really looked up to were going to investment banking, and so I did as well. It actually ended up being a terrible choice for me, story for a different time. But even more importantly that, looking at my Stanford classmates, I realized that the most successful ones are the ones that paved their own path and went to explore curiosities or interesting opportunities that maybe weren't prestigious on paper, weren't even desirable by literally anyone else, but they were able to make a lot of opportunity from it. There's a really interesting concept in investing where you actually don't want to go towards the consensus thing, because even if you're right with that consensus thing, all of the upside is taken away from it because everyone else also knew it was the right thing. So the key is going after things that you feel really strongly about that other people do not.